in the crowd. All right. And I'll officially get the meeting going by stating the date and the time and all that. And then we're going to have a moment of silence and respect for Bill Tubbs. Everybody ready? Starting the Eldridge City Council regular meeting for the City of Eldridge, Iowa on Monday, October 7th, 2024 at 7:15 p.m. At this moment, we'll take a moment of silence and respect for Bill Tubbs. Please, everybody stand. Thank you. Call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Yossi,
Present.
Dockery,
Present.
Collins,
Present.
Campbell,
Present.
Blackwell,
Present.
Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Dockery, second by Collins. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. I move for a public comment. Is there anybody in the public that wishes to say something? Go ahead and come up to the microphone and state your name, please.
My name is Randy Ridgway. I had the honor of working on the Sheridan Meadows, doing some research on that a couple of years ago and wondering kind of what happened. It seemed to have fallen apart pretty quickly. I don't know. It's an entrance to the city of Eldridge, so I do not live in the city, but I've owned a business here for 34 years. So I should be at least given that. I mean, I care about my city. Anyway, I think that Sheridan Meadows could look so much better, and also that pond could be utilized so much, so much better to put a little money into it. I was able to find some grant money through the Iowa Department of Natural Resources, both a grant and a match grant to help do the project. And then I've seen actually on your sheet that you're gonna have someone bulldoze. One of the emails I sent you, you can't bulldoze. It's not. The Corps of Engineers said no bulldoze. They don't want the ground compaction, and that was their deal. So, because when the other bulldozer was there, and the lady called me and asked me what was going on with it, so I told her we were moving topsoil, was all. So just so you know, maybe be careful of that. But anyway, I really wish, I guess the council would reconsider something with that, just because one thing, it's an entrance to the city, and I think for a lower dollar figure, a pretty low dollar figure, we could actually make that a viable fishing spot and make it look so much better. And also, it seems to flood, Sheridan Meadows floods pretty easy, because there's like 18 inches of what the water has to fill up. And if we make that, deeper, I kind of presented a deal to the city once. I don't know if that was kept or gone. I still have it. So I would love to, if it was ever a consideration again, I would love to bring that back up. So.
Anybody have any questions for Randy?
Thanks
for your passion for this. I know you put a lot of time into this.
If we had an archive, I would pass it, be sent back out. I have a copy of it, Randy, so,
Okay.
and or if you could send that back and for the rest of the council and can
Sure.
get a copy of that, that'd be
Yeah.
great.
Okay,
Great.
all right, I can do that.
Randy, I don't know if you were following, it's probably been 6 weeks ago, maybe?
that I asked for it to be brought back up on the agenda.
Okay.
To start processing this through, not saying it's gonna go one way or another, but to complete the project or whatever that project is. And again, I don't think that we said, yes, we were gonna make it a fishing pond, we were gonna get rid of it, but we need to do something with it that's clear. And my recommendation is that before we move on to another park, that we solve that problem first. So I know that has been working on that, trying to, there's some, I guess, some decisions of who's actually in charge of it and
So
how
when
we,
when I did, like when I was asking, the DNR kind of runs the show. The US Army Corps of Engineers, they said because that was not attached to another body of water, that it was, since it's a retention pond, they were out. And the NRCS said the only thing they would have would be tiling. If the farmers tiled, of course, and they all know they have to get permits for that, so.
Right.
But that, and
is
that
that the
was it.
same as what you're finding now?
So since that latest communication, we did have communication from the Corps of Engineer that legislation was eventually figured out. There was some back and forth in that on whose jurisdiction would be what. It is currently under the jurisdiction of the Corps of Engineer. It has not been delineated of wetlands. We haven't gone through that process, but for all intents and purposes, it is a wetland. So there is some restrictions on what we can do in that area and when we can do it and to what extent. But we have been working with the Corps of Engineer and the DNR on that basin, so.
We're trying to come up with something.
Okay.
Again, it's frustrating that it's been on the agenda for 20 years,
Sure.
and at some point, something's gotta be done. So,
Would it offend if I actually got hold of the Corps of Engineers? Can I go, because I still have the emails from, they changed right in the middle, so there was
Yep.
two different ladies.
Yep.
But, yeah, okay. All right, appreciate that.
Plus, the federal laws changed on definitions of waters of the U.S. through this process.
okay.
So we've communicated with the Corps since that change took place.
And it depends on how they interpret it.
Thanks, Randy.
You bet. Thank you.
Sorry.
Is there anyone else in the public that wanted to address the council? Please state your,
I also do not live in Eldridge proper, but I own property here. Just a quick question. As a parent and a grandparent, I was told that the vape shop wasn't gonna open, that there was some new rule October 1st or something that was coming into effect. But the other day I went by and I've seen it's open for business, and that just disheartens me that we've got that on our main drag. I know it's in the code that we've gotta let it be there, but what happened with the rule that I heard about?
Can I address that?
yes, Jeff?
Okay.
Oh, set the timer.
We probably should. So the new ordinance that was passed took effect after they had already signed a lease for the property and bought their business license. But the new ordinance basically states that any business that sells tobacco or tobacco products, and that's all defined in the ordinance what that is, that's more than 50% of their business has to be located in a light industrial area, which would take it off of the main streets and put it, on a side street someplace. This one got in prior to that happening, and that was the catalyst of the new ordinance, was this vape shop coming to Eldridge.
I didn't know, I had heard something, there was some state rule that something was happening the 1st of October, and I didn't know if that pertained to it or not.
Yeah, I'm unaware of anything that affects their ability to be in the location where they're at.
Okay, and as far as Randy's idea on the Sheridan Meadows pond, I would love to see that be a fishing pond. We've got kids at our pond, at our house, constantly fishing. I would rather see them there, fishing and having fun, as opposed to out running around the streets playing ding dong ditch, or spending so many times sitting on a computer or playing video games, or in sports all the time. I think they need some downtime, and that would be a real good spot for them to be.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? All right, we'll move on to 5A. Consideration of approval of council minutes for the September 16th meeting. Look for motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Yossi, second by Dockery to approve the minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? The ayes have it. 5B, consideration to approve bills payable. Does anybody have any questions on bills this evening?
No, I've got Martha just verifying one, but otherwise I have seen no problems. No.
Mine were answered today.
Okay. Adrian?
I have no today, no.
No questions?
All right, with that being said, do I hear a motion to approve the bills payable?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Campbell, second by Blackwell to approve bills payable. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? The ayes have it. Moving on to 6A, consideration setting a date and time for trick or treating.
With staff reports.
On Halloween, on October 31st. That's usually what we do.
I make a motion to approve trick or treat night for designated as October 31st from 5:30 PM to 7:30 PM.
Second.
Motion by Dockery, second by Campbell to approve Halloween on this October 31st. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Six B, consideration of resolution 2024-24, approving the fiscal year 2024 annual urban renewal report. Nevada, can I call on you?
That'd be Martha.
Martha?
Yes. Does anybody have any questions on the report? Basically what it says, if you have a copy of that, is at the beginning of fiscal year 24, our outstanding debt balances were 9 million plus. We received $1,121,418. Out of that, we had a negative balance last year of $9,985. We had rebate expenditures of $127,634 and other expenditures of $977,662, which left the total expenditures of $1,105,296, leaving a positive balance of $6,137,000. So we went 2 years with a negative balance. We're at a positive balance now. So.
Does anybody have any more questions for Martha?
Will call didn't pop up on this yet.
No, not yet.
That'll pop up next year then?
Mhm.
Okay.
If there's no other questions, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Dockery, second by Collins to approve resolution 2024-24. Roll call.
Collins,
Aye.
Dockery,
Aye.
Yossi,
Aye.
Blackwell,
Aye.
Campbell.
Resolution 2024-24 is passed. 6C, consideration to approve closure of city offices for half a day beginning at 11 a.m. on Tuesday, December 10th, 2024, for a full staff safety training event. On you, Len?
Sure. So this is something that I had reached out to Chief Lullig to ask about what the options would be for employee training on an active shooter or a violent active intruder threat situation. They do these annually in the schools for all ages, and it's becoming increasingly more common to do these in the workplace as well. Considering that all of our staff works in public facilities where we often have public coming in and out all times of the day and all of our business hours. I thought that this would be a beneficial training for our employees to have as well. In talking to Chief, there was an option to do like a 45-minute PowerPoint, I think, or there was an option to do what they do with other workplaces and schools, and it's usually a group of about 25 people. It lasts about 4.5 to 5 hours, and it's more engaged, hands-on, active training. So I would like to request that we plan a day where all of our staff can get together out here at the community center and have that training provided to all of our full-time staff by our Eldridge Police Department.
I think with everything going on, or all the events that we've seen in our country, I think this is well worth it, and I would be totally in favor of closing the offices that day.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we have to, prepare for that, but definitely in this time and age and for the safety of staff, it's, we must. If there's no further discussion, I'd like to make a motion for approval.
Second?
That's right, Frank, second.
Okay,
We have a motion and a second.
yeah, you were first, right? Adrian?
And
And then you second. Yep, motion by Blackwell, second by Campbell. All those in favor of city training, say aye.
Aye.
Nays, the ayes have it. 6D, consideration to approve an estimate for Engelberg Brothers not to exceed $5,000 to stabilize the north bank and east bank near Diamond Number 4 at Sheridan Meadows. It's encroaching on the footings of the fence, the way I understand it. And you've been in contact with the other, right?
Yes.
So we're okay to actually do the bulldozing, correct?
That is my understanding. I've worked with the city engineer on that and asked that specific question before we brought it forward. We do have public works staff currently out there stripping some of that topsoil off since it's dry and using that along some of the road and trail areas in the city. While they were out there, they did look at where it is getting a lot closer to the edge of that fence along the Diamond Number 4. They did talk to Engelbrecht and have them come in and give them an estimate, and they estimated about $250 an hour for the rental of the dozer and a total of 2 days maximum. So that would be the not to exceed that we're looking for, to have them come in and push some dirt to just stabilize that bank until we have determined what we're gonna do with that basin. So that would be what we would be looking for an approval for that estimate. If it does rain, they won't be able to do that. We don't have any rain in the forecast, but you never know. So what the other part would be in asking for this not to exceed approval is to have that be able to be done at another time if we can't get it done in these next couple of days, that it would stand for the next period of time where it's dry enough to do that.
And this dirt they're moving, is that they're gonna take the actual dirt from the basin?
Yes.
So they're going to,
Yeah, they're just
in
stripping it.
essence, they're gonna dredge it, so to speak, a little bit.
They're just gonna push it up.
Right.
Push it over.
It'll help, it'll get us somewhere to get started.
Protect the fence. I make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Motion by Dockery, second by Yossi to approve the estimate from Engelbrecht not to exceed $5,000 for pond stabilization. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? The ayes have it. On to 6E, consideration of the first reading of ordinance 2024-13, amending Chapter C, Chapter 2, Section 8.04 of the Eldridge Code for residential and commercial industrial sewer rental unit billing. Jeff, can I call on you for this?
Thank you, Mayor. This came to my attention by a utility billing clerk just within the last week. We have a line in the city code that dictates that, I'll read it to you, residential sewer rentals shall be charged to the owner, commercial industrial sewer rentals may be charged to the owner or tenant. the utility billing clerk asked why this was, and she explained that by having this in the city code, that they have to create 3 separate billing accounts for every utility customer, which is extra work for the staff. And they've recently, and I think previously, not just recently, been getting pushback from rental owners on why we require this. I talked to the sewer superintendent and was told that he believed that it was set up at some point because if somebody doesn't pay their bill, they're able to shut off electric and water. They're not able to shut off sewer. But then he also stated that if you shut off the water, there isn't any sewer usage. So he really didn't see a need for it to be in the code for that reason. So at the request of the utility billing clerk, I wrote this ordinance in the memo, and you have it before you. We're just requesting to remove that line so that they don't any longer have to create 3 separate billing accounts for every rental property.
I know there's an issue on Spring Street. Property owner pays the sewer bill. He's complained for years. In that scenario, we send the sewer bill to one individual, property owner, versus taking that sewer amount, having our clerks divide it up by 4 tenants or 6, whatever in that building, and putting it on their bill. So I don't know what's actually easier for billing clerks to do.
I don't believe it to be our billing clerk's responsibility to divide up any bills. If there's only one account, then there's only one account. They continue to send it to him.
Okay, because Spring Street, that's exactly the scenario. There's only one sewer main leaving that structure, and the property owner pays it. So they'll still have to do 3 bills.
In certain situations, there might be, but we're just, I guess, taking away that they aren't required to for everyone. Not every place is set up that way. Most places are set up with separate sewers, so they wouldn't have to have that 3rd account. If there's a situation where they need the 3rd account, then they'll keep the 3rd account.
Should we define that in there? If there's one sewer lateral leaving the structure, it's the property owner?
It's based on an average of consumption for
Right.
December, January, February, and it's like a budget billing.
I believe it's already covered. I mean, this line is simply requiring them to set up, is requiring them to do it that way when,
It would go with their water bill.
right.
So if their water bills are being charged out to those separate units, then they could charge the sewer out to those separate units the same way that they, because it's based on their water consumption average for December, January, and February. But if they've only got one water meter and it's all in one bill going to the landlord, then the sewer would go there as well, and he would have to split that up between his tenants. But if the water's already being split up based on consumption, they would be able to split up the sewer to go with those water bills the same way. So it just depends on that.
I get what you're saying now. Yeah, but like a duplex or a quadplex or whatever would, already have the separate sewers, so that wouldn't be an issue for us.
Yeah, I don't know on the building I'm referring to. I'll get you after the meeting if that's got one water meter, if it's got individual ones for all the units combined.
We can look into that specifically, but I mean, there's probably always going to be an exception. And there are, 3 other lines, to this ordinance. We're just pulling out and some of that I think dictates, how it's split up. This is just requiring the extra billing.
And my point is it's probably already in the tenant's lease, what they pay.
Should be.
And there could be some property owners that just switch the sewer over and the base that's already in their rentals remains.
Correct, and that's not our issue. Our issue is just simplifying the work for our employees and staff.
So they'll have an option to set it up to either be billed to the tenant or the landowner or the property owner, rather than right now only the sewer, not the electric or water. And that's where the extra accounts come in, because they might be billing the water directly to the tenant, and they could do the same with the sewer, but because of our ordinance, that has to go to the property owner, who then tries to recover that cost if it's supposed to be part of the rent. So it's extra work for them, it's extra work for us, just because our ordinance doesn't allow them to send the bill to the tenant, even if it's written in the lease that way, which would be up to them, how that's gonna be. And then if we tie that to the tenant, then if there's a delinquent bill, that can follow the individual rather than stay with the property, in most cases, just like the delinquent bills for our water and electric.
So you're correct, Brian. So like Grand Haven has one sewer bill because it's one way in, one way out, so we understand that. But at Grand Meadows, they made us do each sewer bill per person. And they would not put it in the tenant's name, they would only put it in Joe Callahan's name, or Grand Meadows LLC. So I feel that this is actually making it fair to everyone then, because it goes with water consumption, so then we can just do the right thing and then do the tenant per agreement. So this is the right way to do it as far as we're concerned. So I'm going to make a motion then to accept ordinance 2024-13 for the first reading.
Second?
Motion by Collins, second by Yossi to approve the first reading of ordinance 2024-13. Roll call.
Blackwell,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Collins,
Aye.
Dockery,
Aye.
Yossi,
Aye.
First reading of ordinance 2024-13 passes. At this point, we're going to go into the staff activity reports. Nevada, can I call on you first?
Thank you, Mayor. First, I just want to thank our Public Works crew. They did get the two South First Street patching done that the council wanted them to go ahead and try. It looked really nice. It's holding up well. It's only been a short period of time, but they did a really great job. Got that done before cold weather came in. Terracon has performed the soil borings out at Hickory Creek, so we should be receiving the reports on those. I think they completed them last week. Traffic counts are done on Lincoln Road, so they're preparing that data so they can transfer that over to Bi-State. Then Bi-State will be able to submit that on to the DOT so that we can look at reclassification. If we achieve that reclassification, then we would have to take the next step of getting Lincoln Road on the long-range plan for our MPO so that we could look at federal funding. So traffic counts will be that next step, and we'll see how that comes out with the DOT. The kickoff meeting for the South First Street TEEP study that's being done is tomorrow at 1:30. So we've got a lot of our department heads coming to that to offer some input on the challenges on South First Street. I know a representative from the school district will be there. We invited the fire chief as well. So that team will be getting together to just talk through some of those initial challenges, and that will determine the course of the study and what the outcomes will be for that, which then we can present to council and get input on what we're looking at specifically in that study and what the hopes are to come back with from that. For the Townsend Farm Trail, the concrete work is done for the sidewalk and the ramps. The Triple B is now working on doing the work with the topsoil and the seeding and restoration. There were at least one report of some damage to a yard, so they're going to be putting some sod down on that. And then that project should be wrapping up very soon.
Thanks, Nevada. Jeff, do you have an update for us?
Just very quickly, Your Honor, we're receiving a lot of calls and developmental interest in Southwest Eldridge still, since Northwest Davenport is filling up. Nobody's pulled the trigger or anything yet, but we're still seeing a lot of interest there. And the Revolve property owner and his attorney have reached out and would like to start the talks to get the annexation going for that down there, so we're gonna have a meeting on that next week and hopefully start seeing that progress very soon.
Great.
Great news.
Martha, do you have an update for us this evening?
just one quick update. The auditors will be on site next week from Tuesday through Thursday. So for, I guess, basically their final on-site work papers for the audit. After that, they just work on completing the audit and get it ready for presentation.
Okay. Thank you. Chief Lilly, do you have an update for us from the police department?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just two quick things. One, the softball game was a big success. We had a lot of fun. Thank you to Councilmember Dr. Iossi and Mr. Mayor. Thank you for helping. Appreciate the help. I couldn't have done it without you guys. We raised about $1,500 for Shop with the Cop, so we were very excited about that. Skate with the Cop is coming up November 9th here at the community center, so we're looking forward to that also. That is to raise money for Shop with the Cop also, so we're excited about that. October is our training month, so we have a lot of training coming up. We're doing pursuit driving with the Scott County Sheriff's Office. That's actually next week, so we'll be attending that. And then we have a little firearms and defensive tactics the week after, so kind of a little training month before the holidays. So that's all I got, guys.
Thank you, Chief. That will conclude the regular part of our, yeah, go ahead.
Frank, just for clarification, I don't have anything for the chief, but I've seen signs around town that yard waste pickup starts October 13th. Is that accurate?
Let me get a calendar. It'd be the 14th.
14th.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll
Yep,
probably
second
put that out on our webpage. Some businesses already have that sign up, so.
Okay. Yep, I believe we ran a notice in the North Scott Press already, didn't we? Yep, well, I'll get something on social media.
Plus those patches on First Street, are not only holding up well, but they dried much better.
Yeah.
We'll pass that along.
They did nice.
Be nice to look at the other sections too, and get those done if need be.
I had all the confidence in the world of our employees.
First Street still needs to be done though.
At some point.
Does everybody else have anything else to add?
The sooner the better.
All right, that concludes our regular part of the meeting. We will be going into closed session. Thank you.
Closed session, are you